Hey guys, what is up? It's Zero here today with another episode of Pets of Azeroth. Today we are going to be going over Zuldazar. We will be going over the different pets that you can capture, any pets that are purchasable, and any pets that drop off of a rare or anything like that. Before we get into it today, just like the previous video, um, this is another re-recording due to some tech issues, so it will not match up exactly with the podcast. However, beginning with episode 5 and going on, um, they should all start matching up again. That way, for any of you that are listening to the podcast, if you get to a point you want to kind of see what I'm going over or what I am discussing, you can go to my YouTube channel and pull up that particular episode video and jump to the spot that you were wanting to take a look at and see what I'm going over. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this episode. So we are in Zuldazar, and as far as pets you can battle and capture, there are 7 pets that you can fight and capture, and that is going to be the shore butterfly, the sourlisk, the leafy flutterwing, the golden beetle, the barrier hermit, and the baby Zandalari raptor. The blue flitter is a purchasable pet with pet charms. You get that one from Happy Holua, and the Sourless Catchling is also purchasable from Happy Holua. There are other pets available, and that is going to be the Abyssal Eel, who is purchasable from Ollie for pet charms. The Bilefang Skitter, which is also purchasable from Ollie. The Child of Johnny is going to be purchased from Happy Holua. Gupa is purchased from Collector Kojo. The Drustvar Piglet, which is also purchasable in Drustvar, is purchasable from Ollie. The Frenzied Cottontail is also purchasable from Ollie. Lil Bin Fawn is purchasable from Happy Holua. The Little War Machine is purchased from Rensa Greyfeather from the Honor-Bound faction. The Lost Platyosaur is also available from Talutu in Zuldazar. Tanzil is purchasable from Provisioner Mukra. The Tiny Dire Horn is purchasable from Happy Holua. And the Zandalari Shin Chopper is also purchased from Happy Holua. And there is also a pet that drops, and that is Dasher. Dasher drops from N'Challa, the Egg Thief. So whenever you see that one up, you can fight N'Challa to get a chance to have Dasher drop. But those are the different pets that can either be purchased or fought in Zuldazar. And as is the other zones, there are 4 World Quest pet battle bosses in this zone. And those are going to be at least the World Quest titles. Add More to the Collection, Small Beginnings, You've Never Seen Jammer Upset, and Critters Are Friends, Not Food. And beginning with Add More to the Collection, that is going to be Talia Sparkbrow. And her location is going to be 48.4 by 35. She is using 88, which is a spider critter pet. She is using Turbo, which is a beast pet. And she's using Whiplash, which is a flying pet. 88 uses Skitter, Sticky Web, and Spiderling Swarm. Skitter is a critter damage attack. Sticky Web flings a web at the target, dealing beast damage, and they cannot flee for 2 rounds. Spiderling Swarm deals beast damage, and it will deal double damage if the target is already webbed. Turbo has Bite, Black Claw, and Vengeance. Bite deals beast damage. Black Claw causes the enemy to take more damage every time it's attacked for 3 rounds. Vengeance is a beast damage attack that is equal to the last hit taken by the user. And lastly is Whiplash, who uses Savage Talon, Sandstorm, and Cocoon Strike. Savage Talon deals flying damage. Sandstorm deals flying damage and turns the weather into Sandstorm. During Sandstorm, all pets take less damage, and the accuracy is reduced by 10%. Cocoon Strike deals flying damage and increases your block chance by a 100% for 1 round. The current most common team for this fight is the Iron Starlet and the Sprite Darter Hatchling. That is the most currently common team for this fight, and that is one possibility of a team. You could use the Nether Fairy Dragon instead of the Sprite Darter Hatchling if you don't have them. That's what I am using, is the Nether Fairy Dragon with the Iron Starlet. That's the setup that I use. An alternative would be the Direbeak Hatchling with the Nexus Whelpling. That's one option. Little Bling with Stormborn Whelpling is also another option. So there are a few options out there that you could use for this particular fight. Next up is going to be Small Beginnings, and this is going to be Zoojai, and he is located at 50.6 by 24, and he uses Scales, which is this critter snake, Breaker, which is an axe beak flying, and Stickers, which is an aquatic frog. Scales uses Lash, Hiss, and Blinding Poison. Lash deals elemental damage 1 to 2 times, and if he goes first, he gets an additional attack. Hiss deals beast damage and reduces target speed by 25% for 4 rounds. And Blinding Poison spits poison into the target's eyes, reducing hit chance by 100% for 1 round. While affected, the target is considered both blinded and poisoned. Breaker uses Peck, Squawk, and Headbutt. Peck deals flying damage. Squawk deals flying damage and reduces the damage the target deals by 25% for 3 rounds. Headbutt deals beast damage and has a 25% chance to stun. Stickers has Frog Kiss, Acid Rain, and Croak. Frog Kiss deals aquatic damage and has a 25% chance to turn the target into a frog for 1 round. Damage also increases by an amount up to a maximum amount of aquatic damage each time it's used. Acid Rain deals aquatic damage and calls down a cleansing rain for 9 rounds. During cleansing rain, any damage over time effects is reduced by a round, and all aquatic damage deals 25% more damage. And Croak deals aquatic damage and reduces critical strike chance by 100% for 4 rounds. And the most common team currently for this World Quest is the Iron Starlet with the Nexus Whelpling and Icky. And if you don't have the Iron Starlet, you can use a Rune Forged Servitor, or if you don't have a Nexus Whelpling, you could use a Stormborn Whelpling instead of those. Other options are the Nexus Whelpling with a Direbeak Hatchling. You could use the Iron Starlet, the Nexus Whelpling, and the Direbeak Hatchling. You could use Wolpertinger with a Bronze Whelpling. You could use a Flayer Youngling with Chromenius and Icky. So there are a few options available for this particular battle. And up next is You've Never Seen Jammer Upset. This is your single fight. It's basically like a boss battle, and Jammer is located at 68 by 34, and he is just one pet that you have to fight. He is a dire horn, the Triceratops, and his abilities are Tri-Horn Charge, Tri-Horn Shield, and Tail Smash. Tri-Horn Charge deals beast damage and always goes first. Tri-Horn Shield reduces some damage from each attack made against you for 3 rounds. And Tail Smash deals beast damage and forces the opponent's lowest health pet to swap into battle. The most commonly used fight for this battle is the Unborn Valkyrie with Icky. And if you don't have Icky, you could substitute in Foul Feather instead. There is a fight option out there to use only the Iron Starlet. However, there is some notes saying that it is not 100% reliable. So the most common team is the Unborn Valkyrie with Icky. A couple of options could be the Mechanical Axe Beak and the Dark Moon Tonk, or the Zandalari Ankle Render with the Zandalari Knee Biter. Those are a few options of this fight. I use the Unborn Valkyrie with Icky. That is what I'm using. And lastly, for Zuldazar, is critters are friends, not food. And that is going to be Karaka. And he is located at 70.6 by 29.6. He's just outside the flight path up there where some of the Tortolans are. He uses Lazy, which is a beast lizard, Spokes, which is a flying wasp, and Skeeto, which is also a flying wasp. Lazy uses Bite, Toxic Bite, and Rip. Bite deals beast damage. Toxic Bite deals beast damage and causes harmful damage over time. And deals additional damage each time they deal damage for 5 rounds. And last is Rip. Rip deals beast damage and causes a bleed for additional beast damage for 5 rounds. Is Spokes. He does Alpha Strike, Cyclone, and Confusing Sting. Alpha Strike deals flying damage, plus additional flying damage if it goes first. Cyclone creates a Cyclone which has a 35% chance to deal flying damage to the enemy team each round for 5 rounds. And Confusing Sting deals flying damage every round for 5 rounds. The target has a 10% chance to harm themselves while attacking and is considered poisoned. Skeeto uses Flock, Slicing Wind, and Glowing Toxin. Flock deals flying damage for 3 rounds, and opponents struck by Flock take double damage for 2 rounds. Slicing Wind deals flying damage, and they attack with 1 to 3 blades of wind with that. And Glowing Toxin deals 6% of the target's maximum health as damage every round for 4 rounds. The most common team for this particular fight is the Anomalous with the Sentinel's Companion. That is one of the options for this fight. Other options are the Dark Moon Zeppelin with the Nexus Whelpling, which is what I have set up for mine. You can also do the Iron Starlet with the Servant of Demidos and the Enchanted Lantern. That is another of the options. The Iron Starlet with the Nether Fairy Dragon is also another option. So there are a few options if you do not have these two, the Anomalous and the Sentinel's Companion. The next most common usage is the Dark Moon Zeppelin and the Nexus Whelpling. And those are going to be the 4 world quests that can be up on each rotation. So if you guys are liking the series, or if you are finding these helpful, as far as YouTube goes, definitely leave the likes, definitely subscribe. This podcast is a weekly podcast, and I will be recording the podcast and the video at the same time, barring any technical issues. And that way, if you are listening to the podcast, you can jump over to the YouTube channel and kind of get a visual of what I'm going over when discussing the pets. Also, I am using PetTracker to track pets and get them on the mini-map to get spawn locations. As you can see here, all these little additional bubbles on the mini-map, these are where the different pets that can be fought and captured. So you can see where, and it only shows the pets that can be battled, but you can see them all scattered all over where we can do the different pet battles. It's got them for all of the different zones. You can see I can jump up here to Nazmir. And all of the pets for Nazmir that can be fought are shown up there. So it's a really good add-on. I've been using it to capture all of my different pets. Once we get everything caught up, I also plan on going over some of the different pet achievements and stuff like that. There are a ton of pets that drop from all of the old raids. I'll be going over some of those descriptions too eventually. I'm trying to get through some of the current content Um, at the time of this recording, this video recording at least, um, Shadowlands has been officially announced with a start date now, which is the end of October, October 26th. So I'm going to try and get as much of these videos and podcasts done by then to be at least caught up to the new expansion. And if things work out and I can finish the current zones for the current expansion, I will go into some of the raids and go over some of those pets. I may do it by expansion. That may make it easier on myself and also make the episode at least around that typical time frame. But that is going to cover Zuldazar today. Up next in this video series is going to be Storm Song. So we will be hitting Storm Song Valley next. We have done Tear Guard Sound already, and then as far as the podcast version, because those episodes came out clean, Tear Guard Sound, Zuldazar, Storm Song Valley, and Nazmir are finished. As far as the podcast goes, I still need to do Vol'dun and I need to do Drustvar. That will finish up the starting zones that were available. Then we will go into the zones that were added at each patch. And then once we get all of those finished, I'll probably jump into the different raids coming up through the expansions until we are ready to get into Shadowlands. I'm going to keep an eye on patch notes, release notes, and see if or how much change is going to come to the pet battles. But at this time, I'm not sure how much or if any of them are going to actually change. But that's all for now. So thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next episode.